Good evening and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Business. It has been a minute, and let me tell you, it feels so good to be back on air. As always, you can watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and on Amazon Fire TV. You can listen to us on PHLV radio app or get our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Now, I figured since it is my first episode for the year, let's start with a bang. I have a very special guest tonight, a very good friend and a huge supporter of small businesses. But before we bring him in, Nevada has always been considered one of the, or not the best state to start or have a business. Nevada, in fact, is home to about 300,000 small businesses that employs over 500,000 people. That is amazing. What makes Nevada be known for this or have this distinction? It's a list of things. First, we don't have state income tax. I cannot tell you how huge of a plus that is. We have a very friendly LLC requirements, strict privacy practices, no business income tax. We are just a very tax-friendly state. That's why there's so many people from California, so many businesses trying to move over here. We don't have franchise tax. We have a very pro-business climate, which, got to remind everybody, let's keep it that way. We've got great workforce development programs, and we've got innovations-based economic development. And of course, we do have growing pains as we try to diversify our economy. We're still growing our workforce, but that's a good problem to have. There's a lot of opportunity here. Now, of course, one of the biggest reasons also why it's such a great place to have business, we have a very supportive state that truly provides numerous resources to help and support the business ecosystem. I'm going to take a quick early break because after this, I want to bring in our guest already so we can spend more time with him. So let's take a quick break and then we'll bring back our guest.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
Here, all right. Welcome back. My guest for tonight, he is the Deputy Director for Nevada's Business and Industry, my very good friend and longtime supporter of not just the AAPI community, but the whole Southern Nevada small business community. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Marcel Scherer. Marcel, good evening. How are you?
Well, good evening, Sonny. My goodness, my pleasure to be here, part of your show. And indeed, let's talk business. And again, also with PH Radio. What a pleasure to be here this evening. Thank you, Sonny.
Thank you, Marcel. Well, you know what? Not everybody knows what business and industry does or what it is. So my first question to you, Marcel, please tell our audience about business and industry. What is the main function of business and industry, and how does it support small business?
Yes, Sonny. Often people will ask the question, and of course they don't know exactly what we do. But think about this. The Department of Business and Industry is sort of this umbrella, regulatory umbrella for the state. And that's what we do. We occupy many, many spaces and many industries. So it's a far-reaching organization serving many, many businesses and industries throughout the state, as you know, Sonny.
I got to tell you, so for our audience, Marcel's been the deputy down here in the South. He has a counterpart, Perry Fagan, is another excellent leader. And then, of course, both of them have Chris Sanchez, Director of Business and Industry, who's another, not only a good friend, but a great leader as well. I'm telling you, Business and Industry is in good hands. What can I say? Now, there are several divisions under Business and Industry. Can you give us a rundown on these divisions, what they do, and then maybe give a couple of examples, like what the Athletic Commission or the NTA do, or even mortgage loan, something different, not a lot of people hear about.
Yes, and again, under that regulatory umbrella, Sonny, as you know, and I think the visuals that we have sometimes is think about, and one area is real estate, for example. If you and I want to sell real estate, we need to have a license and be regulated. Same thing goes, and you mentioned the Nevada Athletic Commission, used to be under BNI, currently it's under the governor's office. But again, if anyone wants to get into a cage and fight, they certainly need to be licensed and regulated. Same thing goes for the labor commissioner. For example, if people have a dispute when it comes to wages, overtime issues, they go to the labor commissioner. And you mentioned NTA, which is the Nevada Transportation Authority.
Yep.
And what they do is they regulate limousines, they regulate, for example, Uber and Lyft, and those are to provide a safety net for the public. As you get into a car, you want to have some type of a reassurance, I will say, that you are protected. So they are licensed and regulated by the Nevada Transportation Authority. So we are indeed a very far-reaching organization, Sonny. And things you mentioned the mortgage lending division. We are also heavily into housing, as you know, and trying to address affordable housing, which is not just a local but a nationwide issue right now in terms of affordable housing. As you can imagine, the labor force and also small businesses really face real challenges when it comes to housing.
Yeah, it's amazing how much reach the Department of Business and Industry has. It's probably one of the largest state agencies that we have, and it's amazing how much it regulates, like you said, and protects people, right? And of course helps businesses as well.
And exactly, we are, Sonny, sorry to interrupt,
No,
but
no.
we are in the business of promoting and supporting the growth of many businesses. And
Yeah.
of course, dear to our heart is the small business sector or micro businesses.
Of course.
And when I say dear to our heart is because I have known you for years and we have worked extensively trying to really empower all those dreamers and doers out there representing the small business sector. As you mentioned, over 300,000 small businesses just within the state, and many of them are really what we consider micro businesses, less than 20 employees. For the most part, as you know, Sonny, it's 10 people or less.
Exactly. There's nothing like seeing I love that phrase that you always use, dreamers endure. There's nothing better seeing a dreamer endure,
Yes.
getting, making it, becoming successful, and having that small business thrive and grow. It's just an amazing feeling, right?
Oh, they add so much because as you mentioned, as you started your show, you mentioned the vitality of this state
Yeah.
and what economic development represents, what workforce development represents. But guess what? You and I have been for years pointing finger to the economic development area.
Yeah.
That I would say ecosystem of activity of all those small businesses throughout the state. And it's very robust. So again, it's a wonderful state. Southern Nevada is a wonderful area to basically start, run, and grow a business. and you and I have been part of the development not only of the small business sector, but at the end of the day, we can put a lot of pluses around those organizations. But guess what, Sonny? We also have a network of just wonderful professionals. Those individuals who are ready to hold hands with any entrepreneur, any small business owner, and be able to help them grow, succeed, because as you know, Sonny, the proposition of running a small business is sometimes scary, exciting on
Yeah.
one hand, but you really have to knock on doors to really put out there, how am I going to make the next dollar
Yeah.
tomorrow, for example? So,
No, I agree with you on that. Let's shift gears a little bit because, of course,
sure.
you've got this massive entity that's helping small business, but we got to make sure that we have enough people working there to help. So I know that there's an upcoming career fair for the business industry. Can you describe some of the divisions that's going to be participating in that career fair? What kind of candidates are they looking for? And how rewarding it is to work for the state?
Well, again, 3 years ago, this will be a third year, we started this whole concept of the Nevada Small Business Resource Fair. So it's going to be at the Sahara West Library.
Oh, wait. Sorry, Marcel. Sorry to interrupt. Let's talk about the career fair first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The career fair. Yes, that's coming up, and thank you for mentioning that. That's coming up on Thursday, April 4th. And that is a wonderful opportunity. And thank you for displaying that exactly is the Business and Industry Career Fair. It's an opportunity for people out there to really access careers, not only in Southern Nevada, but also in Northern Nevada and throughout the state. So we, in particular, have over 80 positions available within the Department of Business and Industry. But we are also promoting any openings that might be available throughout the state. So it's a wonderful opportunity, great benefits, an opportunity to work for the state. I have been involved with the Department of Business and Industry now for over 8 years, and it has been a wonderful journey of being a social entrepreneur. And you also, Sonny, have joined this wonderful family and for us to continue to grow businesses throughout the state.
Oh, Marcel, I cannot tell you how rewarding the feeling is. And I try to tell people, hey, I know sometimes when they're looking for a job, they concentrate so much on the private industry. Here's the state here for you. Not only is it such a great place to work, it's so rewarding when you're helping people. So, yeah, I really love this career fair. And hopefully we can get a good turnout for this.
Yeah, and the activity will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So stop by. The addresses you saw there here in Southern Nevada is 3300 West Sahara Avenue on the 4th floor. And in Carson City is going to be also at, as you can see there, College Drive on the 1st floor. So just a wonderful opportunity just to see also where we are located. And again, this far-reaching organization has 11 divisions, many, as you know, many boards and commissions which are going to be are coming under the umbrella of the Department of Business and Industry.
All right, let's get back to small business. But before we discuss the fair, one of the biggest challenges of small business owners are really knowing what is available for them from the state as far as resources and help. What would you be? I know the answer already, but I'm going to ask you anyway for the audience because you are the creator of this. What would you recommend as the best place to start when a dreamer starts his or her path to business ownership?
Oh my goodness. You know that we equate by now, and Raj from the SCORE, our good friend, will always tell me by now my middle name is Roadmap. And that I think applies that applies to any of our team members within the Department of Business and Industry. And as you know, I'm referring to Chris Wise, Carrie Foley, Lauren Lozano, and the entire team there. We really live for the roadmap. And this roadmap is basically an image of all the resources. Because at the end of the day, Sonny, as you know, and thank you for bringing it up, is, as you can see, is the guide to starting and growing a business in Nevada, but we call it the roadmap. So I don't know if you have the image, but
There it is.
there you go. Exactly. You asked me the question, where should we start? We should start right there, because as you look at this roadmap, this point and click PDF file takes you to all the wonderful resources throughout the state. So it's very simple. So if you and I want to start a business, guess what? We can just click on getting help. And by doing so, we will access many of the organizations that are ready to help us at no cost, Sonny, as you know.
Yeah.
The idea is just to sit down, get technical expertise, because very often, you know, Sonny, we get surrounded by individuals who are going to support our dreams.
Yep.
Either our product or service that we are going to offer in the market. However, we need technical help. And that is something that you and I probably know with certainty. Every business, no matter where they are, at some point will need help. And that goes back to that technical assistance component. And that's why the roadmap exists. So you can access all the resources. So that point and click visual that you display, Sonny, it's simple that is where individuals need to start.
You know, Marcel, just for the audience, just to let you know what the impact of this is. Marcel and I collaborated a year ago, 2 years ago, on a business fair on the east side. And there was a lady that came up to us in tears because she said she learned more from this business fair, from this roadmap, than hiring people to help her start her own business. And that's very powerful for us and very rewarding, right, Marcel? I mean, just to see this lady telling us that this was more helpful, it's just an amazing feeling. So, but anyway, I mentioned the business fair. So you have an upcoming business resource fair. Talk about the perfect place to find resources. I think you will have everyone there. Can you talk us about the business fair, who will be there, and the benefit it has for dreamers and doers?
And thank you, Sonny. The first week in May is always National Small Business Week, as you know. So the whole idea, and this is going to be the third year for us, is that people can access those resources, get the support that they need. And therefore, we are going to have a what we call the Nevada Small Business Fair, a resource fair on May 1st at the Sahara West Library. That is our main event. However, on April 30th, there is also a Reno Sparks Small Business Resource Fair. On May 1st, as we do this main fair, we're going to have also resource fairs out of Fernley in Northern Nevada. And also, guess what? We're going to have for the first year a central small business resource fair out of Tonopah.
Nice.
And they will, all of us will be connected. It's sort of a coordinated, centralized, and collaborative effort of all these organizations. Here in Las Vegas, Sonny, we are going to have over 50 exhibitors that represent the roadmap. They are going to be there just to answer questions, to provide support, to make appointments, and basically be able to help many. And thank you. There is that wonderful visual of the Central Nevada Small Business Resource Fair also. So just a wonderful opportunity for people to come in, get the resources that they need, interact with individuals, get the support. And guess what? We also make it very fun. We support the small business sector by having 3 food trucks that are also going to join us
Nice.
at the event. So it's just a wonder. You have been there, Sonny. It's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for people to come in. And guess what? We are going to have the governor of our wonderful state joining us at 10:30 in the morning to provide opening remarks. So it's just going to be an exciting event.
No, that I cannot tell you how impressed I am with these events that you have, the business fairs. And you're right, they're just getting larger and larger each year. Any feedback from people? Can you give me some examples of feedback that people have given you about the business fair?
Well, one of the biggest feedback is individuals coming in, and exactly to your point, we know what we know, Sonny, in many cases, and we don't know what we don't know. The whole idea of this image is that at least you are able to visualize some of the key components as you structure your business. Because as you know, Sonny, yes, dreamers or doers understand their trade. They understand the product, they understand the service. For example, a product could be a bakery. A service can be an online service of, designing a website.
Sure.
However, there are many different components in the roadmap, as you know. The legal structure of it, funding. In some cases,
Funding,
you may
big
need
one.
some. And it's a big one,
Yep.
as you know. It's a big one. But again, it's sometimes you have to borrow money.
Yeah.
And you need to access some of those non-traditional institutions that can provide money to small businesses. It may be the licensing component or certifications, or you need to hire people. All of those pieces have to come into play. And that goes, and it goes into what we call a business plan. So individuals will come to us. And exactly to your point, sometimes in tears, sometimes with a big, big smile, but it is an opportunity for them to better connect the dots. Better connecting the dots with the purpose of really making that dream or a small business a success. As you know, Sonny, it's very challenging for individuals to grow a business.
Oh, yeah. And not only that, I want to give this advice too. Even if you hire a consultant that's charging you money, come to this business fair. This is free service, and they will give you a guide to make sure that that consultant that you hired is doing the right thing for you. Sometimes you might even realize you don't need a consultant because you have this SCORE, SBDC, all these other programs out there that's free.
Yeah, and Sonny, you know the quality of individuals
Yep.
in our network. And we call it the business support network or business support ecosystem. Yes, you can point to organizations, but at the end of the day are individuals with a big heart, but also with the technical expertise, because they will walk you through the process. They will challenge you. They will do a cost benefit analysis. They will do or put together with you a financial projection. They will help you with the legal structure. They will be there holding hands with you to walk and move forward as you realize and grow your business. Because there is this whole aspect of course, planning for your business. But then guess what, Sonny? After that is really the biggest challenge is strategy.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? How am I going to bring the next dollar tomorrow that will sustain my business operation moving forward, will put food on my table? will give me an opportunity to support my family and grow with it. And with the challenges, of course, Sonny, also is the exciting opportunities
Of course.
of just owning a small business.
Oh, yeah. Now, we've talked about collaborating with different entities, but business and industry does a great job collaborating within the state. And I know you call it like the pillars of business. Can you describe that to me and tell me which of those agencies you collaborate with a lot?
Yes, and very often, visually, I will say, do a quadrant,
Uh-huh.
4 different blocks. The first one, of course, if you want to point, will be resources.
Okay.
And that is the roadmap and through the Department of Business and Industry. So there is where you find resources. So keep in mind that big R of resources. Another one is the licensing, and that is the Nevada State Secretary of State or Silver Flume. Many individuals know that you need a state business license to operate within the state. And that is a huge component because you have to formalize what I will say that technical aspect of running a business. And don't fool with it, Get up a state business license so you don't have to worry about any deficiencies moving forward.
Yeah.
As you know, there are a considerable amount of businesses within the state that perhaps don't even know that they need a state license.
That's right.
And then there is a local license. There is a county license. There is a city license. So be in compliance. So that is important. And that's what Silver Flume, the Nevada Secretary of State, does. The third quadrant or box is what we call the Office of the Small Business Advocacy. As you know, Sonny, you have been part of that wonderful office also. And what they do is they will help the small businesses with any issues that they may have when they work with government.
Yeah.
It could be state government, it could be federal government. And basically, what are some of those barriers and what else you can do to eliminate those barriers? So they do exist as an advocate to help the small businesses in that arena. And the fourth one, of course, is the Governor's Office of Economic Development. They have a resource component also of the small businesses. And that is a combination, of course, of different components. One of them is our dear friend, Sonny, Joan Rubin, and her entire team under Apex.
Yep.
It's called Apex Accelerator. And what they do is they help you with contracts and also point to assistance when it comes to certifications, because a small business, as you can imagine, and you know this, Sonny, yes, when you are ready to work with government, and there are billions of dollars available at any, and when I say that is local, county, state, and federal government, that you can access to work with government entities. And they put you in contact with the right players, I will say, so you can access contracts. A certification, as you know, Sonny, is not a guarantee that you're going to get a contract, but at least you need to have the know-how, and that's what they do. You also have the Office of Entrepreneurship. That is a new office under GoEd, and they play also a central role when it comes to helping the business sector. There is also the small business, what is it? It's called, it's the State Small Business Incentive Program.
Yep. You're right.
Through GoEd. And they also play a key role when it comes to helping the small business sector. And I believe those are I may be forgetting one more area there, but those are the different pieces. And when it comes to this entire network of resources.
Fantastic. I mean, that's it's everything that you need. By the way, I just want to first announcement: we're gonna have Joan on the show too. Not next show, but the show after.
Oh, wonderful!
I know. I told her she's got to come here and talk about everything that Apex does. So it's because it's such an important piece too. So.
Oh, that is wonderful. And those pillars, and I love the way you frame those, Sonny. Those 4 pillars are basically representing the state of Nevada, representing the governor's office in an attempt to help the small business sector grow and succeed. So it's our pleasure and honor for all of us to be in that space, really helping and working with many, many resource partners throughout the state in this objective that we have as a network to really advance the growth of the small business sector.
I know, Marcel, unfortunately, it's a 30-minute show, so we got to wrap up soon. But I want you to have the last word, Marcel. Tell us, you've been helping small business for a long time now, 8 years in BI. What would be your best advice to an aspiring entrepreneur or an existing business owner? And of course, invite them to the business fair. So go ahead.
Of course, please keep in mind, and thank you again, is Wednesday, May 1st, here at the Sahara West Library from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Please come and join us. The last piece of advice is what I always say, and thank you for displaying that. Again, the Nevada Small Business Resource Fair on May 1st. The last piece of advice, Sonny, I always say is you have to make a difference between planning and a strategy. Planning is challenging, planning is labor intensive, but somehow feels secure because you can control planning. I'm not saying that it's easy, because even planning to get a loan, for example, $10,000 is a challenge. You have to secure that. But beyond the planning, putting the framework around your business, really the other huge piece is the strategy. What is your strategy to win, to make money? And that is what we also need to focus on. And very often, small entrepreneurs and small business owners do not put enough time into the strategy portion of it. And again, full circle, that goes into accessing all the wonderful resources that we have, all these organizations that can provide you with the technical expertise to grow and really put in place a strategy which is executable. So you move from formation to execution. And that is the word of strategy.
That is fantastic, Marcel. Thank you so much for joining us, joining the show tonight. Great words of wisdom, and we'll see you at the business fair.
Thank you, Sonny, again to you, your entire team. My goodness, to be part of the PHLV radio show this evening. So looking forward to seeing you there on May 1st.
Awesome.
Thank you, Sonny.
Thanks, Marcel. That is our show for tonight. As always, I want to thank Johan Saison, our producer. Thank you, and see you next week.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.